Welcome, dear viewers, to Poetry Blows Your Blues Away. Today's poem is an evergreen one, a timeless one, very relevant in these selfie driven, selfie ridden days and smartphone days. Whenever and wherever we go for sightseeing, wheresoever we tour, the first thing we do, unfortunately, after getting off at the given place, is taking a series of selfies and photographs. And then we think our trip is done. No sooner we take the photographs than we start sharing them, looking for the comments and the likes. We bury ourselves deep in our phones, and then our tour is done. Isn't it a thousand pities? Instead of losing ourselves in the scenery there, we are immersed in our phones. Herein comes today's poem, Daffodils, by William Wordsworth, from which we can learn a valuable lesson in these selfie-driven, selfie-stricken, selfish days. The poem consists of 4 6-lined stanzas. Here goes the first stanza. I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high over vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils, beside the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze. Here is Wordsworth wandering alone, mind you, wandering alone in the Lake District. He compares himself to a solitary cloud in the sky, floating above the valleys and hills. Here, wandering alone is significant, which we have to inculcate. When all at once, suddenly he sees a crowd, a host, a stretch of golden daffodils. Here we have to observe that he is alone and that flowers are a crowd. Usually the reverse happens with us. We go as a crowd to see the sights of nature, which often spoils the ambience and the atmosphere, the purity and the serenity. Suddenly, as he wanders alone, he stumbles upon the daffodils where, beside the lake, beneath the trees, this doubles the beauty of the flowers. They are fluttering and dancing in the breeze. Happily, the flowers are waving their heads in the gentle wind. Now let's read the second stanza. Continuous as the stars that shine and twinkle on the Milky Way, they stretched in never-ending line along the margin of a bay. 10,000 saw I at a glance, tossing their heads in sprightly dance. Wordsworth further describes the scene, bringing in a comparison here, a simile. The daffodils appear like shining stars, twinkling in the Milky Way. Like the stars, they too are in a never-ending line. Using an exaggeration, he says, 10,000 saw I at a glance. He wonders at their plenty, at their abundance, numberlessness. Numberless flowers are there, tossing their heads in sprightly dance, in dynamic dance. Now we come to the third stanza. The waves beside them danced, but they outdid the sparkling waves in glee. A poet could not but be gay in such a jocund company. I gazed and gazed, but little thought what wealth the show to me had brought. In the very first stanza, Wordsworth has already told us that the daffodils are beside the lake. Now the comparison is with the waves of the lake. The waves too are dancing, but the daffodils excel the sparkling waves in glee. Glee means happiness, merriment. The waves are not as merry as the flowers. Their merriment infects the poet too. A poet could not but be gay in such a jocund company. How could the poet be sad in such a jolly company? Questions the poet. So he was delighted. The repetition enhances his admiration for the scene. I gazed and gazed, but little thought. So he went on gazing at them, not at all realizing that the scene had brought him great wealth. At that time, he did not calculate the wealth. He didn't bother about the benefits the beautiful scene had brought him. What kind of wealth we'll come to know. Here is the takeaway. Our business is to lose ourselves in the pleasure of watching nature, not to measure the treasure, the profits, the gains or benefits. They naturally follow. Significantly, Wordsworth calls it wealth, riches, affluence. He didn't have an eye on them. He simply enjoyed spending time with nature, with the flowers. When did he realize that it was great wealth? After returning home, after some time had passed. Herein comes the last stanza. For oft when on my couch I lie, in vacant or in pensive mood, they flash upon that inward eye, which is the bliss of solitude. And then my heart with pleasure fills and dances with the daffodils. When Wordsworth lies in his bed in a brooding mood, sad, in vacant and pensive mood, he says, thoughtful or melancholic mood, the flowers flash upon that inward eye, the eye of imagination, his inner vision. Wordsworth calls this the bliss of solitude. People who enjoy being alone, they are blessed with this inward eye. He revives the memory of the flowers, and right away his heart fills with pleasure, and his heart dances with the daffodils. Nature is a great stress buster. His sadness is driven away, disappears. Even in his poem, The Rainbow, he says, my heart leaps up when I behold a rainbow in the sky. Mark, friends, here too, his heart dances with the flowers. And then my heart with pleasure fills and dances with the daffodils. His heart is dancing along with the flowers. This is the surprise wealth, jackpot he has amassed, acquired by spending time with nature. He can endlessly draw pleasure from the treasure, from this account. This treasure is measureless and it gives him immense pleasure. This, friends, is today's poem. Let's follow Wordsworth's example. Let us imprint the scenes on the inward eye of imagination and imbibe the quality which is a remedy to all our maladies. Incidentally, friends, this poem is a perfect example of his definition of poetry, spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings and emotion recollected in tranquility. The more we read his poems, the stronger we establish our connect with nature and the happier our lives become. Let's enjoy the profound profits nature's company fetches us. That's all for now. See you soon with yet another marvelous piece of poetry in my next episode. Till then, happy poetry reading.